What's up with it, fam? Thank you for tuning in to BYOB, where we believe the Bible is basic principles before leaving Earth. Basic instruction, before leaving Earth. The Bible is a book of principles that we must practice and use in practical application in our life. On this morning, we're rolling.
Good job.
We're rolling.
Welcome to another episode of Bring Your Own Bible with the Masons. Thank y'all for joining in with us and going on this journey with us, not just watching, but actively taking a part in learning how to take, biblical and practical and marry them together so we can live this life the way God intended. Thank you for sharing, for sowing, everything that you do to make this a success. Let's dive right in. So, this week or this month, we have been talking about the grind and the grace.
Talk to us.
The hustle and then God's grace to help us when we're working, but also to sustain us when we're resting. In week 1, we talked about the balance between work and rest and God's design. We went into Genesis and how God worked. And then at the end, it was like, all right, I did good. And he took his break, This is me using my imagination of how he would be speaking.
You are smart.
Then,
you are kind.
Oh, there he
goes. You are important.
Then in week 2, we talked about working with purpose and not pressure. Now, I will say, I took all of these notes, and last week, we did not stick to them at all.
Squirrel.
We chased squirrels because the conversation just got good to us, and we were supposed to talk about Nehemiah and rebuilding the wall and how he had a focused, purpose-driven assignment. That was his job, He did what he was supposed to do and then, rest. But I'm not going to get into that because this week we have something that was so good to me. It blessed me so much. And this week we're going to talk about the gift of the Sabbath. Normally, I like a topic or a title that makes me want to go see a movie or read a book. And the gift of the Sabbath did not do that for me, but it made me think. So I'm like, what is the Sabbath? I've heard it, I'm going to say most of my adult life. I can't remember as a kid, but I've heard it. And my understanding is that, okay, on the Sabbath day, we take a rest. We don't work that day. But it's so much more than that. I guess, went chasing squirrels, apparently. And I wanted to understand the importance of it. Of course, Christians, we acknowledge the Sabbath, but it's was primarily a Jewish custom. And what the Sabbath was a day, it was that Friday at sunset to that Saturday at sunset where they didn't work. Hey, we not going in the field. We not building nothing, making nothing. We are not working, physically working. But what they did that made it so special, so significant, so important, they worship God. So the Sabbath is not about, I'm not going to work today. I'm just going to rest. No, it's about taking the rest from all the busyness that life brings and worshiping God. So now I have a whole new take on what it means to honor the Sabbath or to recognize the Sabbath. And do I have to say it like that? To each his own. But at the end of the day, a precedent has been set, a model has been laid out, or a blueprint has been laid out for us on how we are to work and rest all throughout scriptures, starting with the first book of the Bible. God shows us how he worked, then he rested. So we want to make sure that we honor the gift that God has given, honor the gift of the Sabbath. And with that in mind, I want us to go ahead and dive into our study for today.
Talk to us.
Come on, Mr. Mason, talk back to me.
Plug it in. It's important. That word I always be back and forth.
It's important. You are kind. You are important. Come on now.
It's a word that almost like obsolete now. You don't really hear anybody even talking about it. And I know we mentioned earlier, see how scriptures tell us to keep the Sabbath, and then it says also to keep it holy. So that's important too, not just what you're going to dive into the details on. You keeping it, but are you keeping it holy? Of course, holy, set apart. That's how we get into sanctification. But you can have a Sabbath and not keep it holy.
Yeah, I think that we look at it as a luxury, but not as a command and a gift from God. And when we start looking at our rest or the Sabbath as a command and a gift, then we honor that. Because we say we want to please God and we want to do this and we want to be holy and acceptable in His sight and we want to make Him smile and da 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 da. Well, it's more than just acknowledging who He is and accepting Him, because He left a book of commands for us to follow. And in that, one of those commands is, to take your rest and honoring the Sabbath. So honor the gift that He's given us. I hope that you guys were able to do your challenges over the past couple of weeks. I doubled up.
Catch up.
Let me chase this squirrel real quick.
Wow.
Because I had to go post this. As soon as we left here last week, that man tried to put me to work. I mean, he's scheduling meetings and we got to do this and we finna go there. I'm saying, because rest is holy and I'm going to rest. And I'm going to find something that brings me peace and I'm going to do it. And I did. I did do that this week.
I've been a good leader and I was testing and challenging her to make sure that she would keep her word.
If I wouldn't have posted it and I would have just went along, I would have failed yet another challenge.
I'm trying to make sure you keep the word, woman of God.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, as a good leader.
So this is what really, really blessed me. And before the live started, my husband and I, we were talking. And I said, like when you're studying the Bible or you hear certain scriptures, for me, sometimes they turn me off. Like, I don't want to read that. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. Like, what is that? If you haven't had that, then, you're good, But I have. So Psalms 23. Is what really has blessed me for this week.
Okay.
And it had blessed me because growing up, every time I heard Psalms 23, y'all, it was at a funeral when they were walking the family in and stuff. And for me, it just brought sad memories. And I just was like, ugh.
Gotcha.
Psalms 23. No, I don't want to read that. It's like, okay, I know it. I don't really understand it. And I wasn't trying to because of what it made me think of and how it made me feel.
What it was about too.
So this week, I decided to take a little deep dive into Psalms 23. And it really, really blessed me. And I hope that it blesses you guys. So in Psalms 23, we know that David is the author of this. And of course, we know the Psalms. Those are the songs and the hymns and the worship. Because that's what David was. He was a worshiper. He wrote songs. Remember, he started, well, I ain't gonna say started his journey because, he started as a shepherd boy, but, he had to go play the harp for Saul and stuff to keep the evil spirit off of him. So music and worship is just a part of his worship experience. And he's sharing that with us.
Right.
So what happened is in Psalms 23, David took his real life experience to describe how God does for us. So in Psalms 23, he says, he makes me to lie down in green pastures.
Yeah.
Why did David use this imagery? So I'm going into teacher mode. Imagery is you visualizing the words that are printed there, right? Is you imagining or building a picture in your mind. And he's using words to help you do that. So David talks about God making him to lie down in green pastures. Why is he saying that? He's equating what God does in the spiritual to what he understands from his previous job. Because we all know that he was a shepherd and he had to tend to the sheep and care for the sheep and guide the sheep and all of that. And that's what God does for us. So a scripture that seems so basic, you can really break it down.
Yeah, it's complex.
So God is making him to lie down in green pastures. Why is he lying down in green pastures? Why he not in the cave? Because y'all know David was hiding in the cave for a little while. Why he not up in the mountain? Because Moses went to the mountaintop. So I'm asking all of these questions, and I'm on a deep dive. The green pastures represents a place of rejuvenation, of renewal, and wholeness. So as the shepherd, your sheep are being fed in the green pastures. It's a place of prosperity.
Yeah.
It's a place of fullness because everything you need is there, right?
Yeah.
So God is making him lie down in a place that can provide everything for him. It's a still, quiet place. We know that because he talked about the still waters, but he puts him in a place where he can find peace. He has joy, everything he needs.
Yeah, resource.
All the resources, all of the abundance, everything is there, but he's making him to lie down, lay back, and see the goodness of me. See what I have created. See what I have provided. Just lay here and rest and bask in my presence. Worship, because that's what they did in the Sabbath, worship. Take a moment to take it all in. That's what David is saying God has done for him. He made me lie down in green pastures. And then from that, he restoreth my soul. I said, oh, Lord, so you done made David go rest so you can restore him?
Yeah, restoration and rest.
I started singing, restoration has finally come.
Said put it in.
But it seems so simple, but at the same time, so deep and complex, and it really blessed me because for so long, and when I mean so long, I mean as in when I started doing the study is when my mind changed about Psalms 23. I had a negative view of it because it reminded me of sad moments, right?
Because they talking about eternal rest when you're
and if we're talking eternal rest, well, I'm gonna put a pause right there because I ain't ready, Lord. So I'm not gonna read that scripture till I, probably never. So it's a scripture that for me, I was like, I just kind of left it alone. But in doing this study, it has really blessed me because it has opened my eyes to look at scriptures from a different perspective and to go and do a study for myself, not just listen to what someone else is saying, not just be in a service, whether funeral or church service or whatever, and just I'm not going to say take the preacher at his word, but y'all get what I'm saying. Sitting and listening and going off of what somebody else says, but me diving into that and getting to know and understand it for myself. Now, go ahead, sir.
Because you got a culture of sleep is for the rich and I'm a hustle until I die or get rich or die trying. I believe 50 of them ushered that in, but the mindset was that it's no need to rest, always to grind, always to hustle, always to go get it. And somehow we didn't took on that mindset, and even in those people that's in faith or believe in God don't realize he's the source. So what we didn't start chasing resources instead of chasing the source. And then he come back and tell us, seek ye first the kingdom, because you seeking the kingdom, you're honoring the king of the kingdom, then all these things will be added. So what he's saying is don't do like the world. You chasing all the resources. You just go to the source. So while you chasing the bag, I'm chasing the person that create bags. And that changed the game. So I can rest.
You said that, and I skipped a little part because it says, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want.
Okay, teach the Bible.
I ain't got to want for nothing. All of my needs. Now, this all goes back to, because some of us don't rest because we don't have trust and faith in God. Like we feel like if I don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. I gotta keep my foot on the gas the whole time. So I gotta work, go to work. I just feel like I'm just working all the time. I made that up. But
wow.
You just feel like you have to work all the time because if I don't work, I'm not going to eat. If I don't work, bills aren't going to get paid. If I don't work, my family's not going to be taken care of. I won't be able to have clothes. I can't get gas. Won't be able to pay my bills. Won't be able to drive my car. So we feel like it's always go mode.
Yeah.
Foot all the way
on the
down
throttle,
on the gas.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, if you really take a moment and really think about it, it's because there is a lack of hope, faith and trust in God that he'll provide everything. But Psalms 23 says, he is my shepherd. He's my leader. He's the person I'm following. He's grooming me and molding me and making me and all the things I shall not want. That lets me know that all of my needs are already provided for.
Then it step forward because it said won't. It didn't. Your needs are straight.
Needs taken care of, but the things that I desire, I don't have to. You know how we get into like, oh man, I wish I had this. Wish I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I want. Like, and then we kind of use need and want interchangeably a lot of the times, because if we want it, we'll say we need it. You know?
I'm gonna tell you, green pastures just even now. We've been talking about this even in our life. I don't want to chase those squirrels too much like we did last week. But man, God will put you in a place of field of favor. That field of favor is green pastures. Well, all of a sudden now, what you used to have to work, grind, hustle for and want it, you ain't got to do that because it's just there. And then you can rest in it. Because that means he done got you to a place that you content. And I got to say, you know, as we moving in this season, it's like stuff just coming that tried to do, wanted to do, try to make happen, wasn't happening.
But we tried it on our own, it wasn't working.
Right. And then tried it on a lower level. Now you open up the door so it can happen on a larger level. Like, what? That didn't make sense. And nothing changes. So they got to let you know that he leading.
We stayed busy. Yeah. We never rested. We stayed busy. We stayed foot on the gas, always doing something, always had a plan or something that we were working. But we had to learn to take a rest. And I said, before we started filming, I said, why is it that we are talking about rest before we start this new work?
Yeah. Before we start
building a home, building a ministry, all of these things. Why is it that we need rest?
Like we're starting over in a new area too.
You are having to set the precedence for what you expect things to be. This is the expectation. We're going to go to work for sure, right? Because we have a work to do. But in that, we're starting from the get-go with honoring the Sabbath, making sure that we take time to rest. Because you asked me, okay, well, what's the difference between the Sabbath and taking a sabbatical? The Sabbath is something they honored on a weekly, whether it be that Friday at sunset to that Saturday or at sunset, or if it's your Saturday or your Sunday or however you recognize it. But that is a weekly commitment. Now, you mentioned something to me. I was like, because that's normally what we do. When we don't take frequent rest, honoring the Sabbath on a weekly or whatever, we get tired, we get burned out, we get frustrated, we mad, we upset, sad, lonely, just all the feelings. And then out of nowhere, and it's really not out of nowhere, it's been building up the whole time. I need to go on a month-long sabbatical. I gotta go. I gotta get up out of here. I gotta go free my mind. I gotta get myself together. I gotta go do me. I gotta get my life. Like, we start going,
wow.
That ain't how we do. Come on now. Y'all know that's how we do. That's how we do. We end up taking a sabbatical, and sabbaticals, the difference between it and a Sabbath is sabbatical is an extended period of time. Now, it might be different for everybody. It might be a week. It might be 2 weeks. It might be a month, 6 months, or a whole year. But you get the picture. Sabbath is something we honor on a weekly, and then that sabbatical is an extended period of time. But had we been honoring the Sabbath, taking time to rest from all the busyness, and while we're resting from that, we're worshiping, we wouldn't feel burned out. We wouldn't feel lonely and sad and depressed and angry and mad and all these negative emotions. We wouldn't feel that so intensely to the point where I got to pull away from everybody and everything for a whole 6 months. We wasn't even created and designed to be alone. So why must I go and be alone for 30 days, 6 months, a whole year? We weren't even created like that. It's because you have allowed yourself to get completely burned out. Your spirit is depleted. Your mind is just, this how you know you're on that verge. Have you ever been like doing something, and a lot of times we say we're just in the routine, we're doing the work, and it's just so habit, and then you just totally space out. You just gone. Like you be driving, and you be gone. Mind completely gone. That's an indication that you might need some rest, right?
Take a pause.
You need to take some time and rest. I remember one time, I think we were going to Shreveport, and you were gone. I don't know what you was driving to.
Rolling.
I mean, we laughed it off, but hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
I know you needed rest.
Yeah.
I know you did, because you're constantly on the go, busy. But our body and our spirit sometimes tells us. Now, your body tell you need physical rest because it start aching and hurting, and it won't let you go.
Yeah.
It'll say, we're not doing that today.
Yeah,
that's what your body gonna tell you.
They're gonna make you lay down.
But then your spirit,
restlessness.
You have a restlessness in your spirit.
Or go to sleep and wake up tired. And you've been in bed 8 hours and you get up exhausted.
Because your mind ain't resting.
Yeah.
Something is weighing in your spirit, on your mind.
Melatonin.
Benadryl. My sister said that melatonin, she can't take that. Get her night tremors.
NyQuil severe. You out here, baby. But it's necessary. But it goes to show you that's why we all doped up, hyped up on caffeine, sugar, and all that other stuff, because you're really not resting. And so now when you actually up, when you should be working, you can't, because you have not fully rest or disengaged from whatever it is. Because even though you're not at work, you took work home, which people carrying it. You carrying drama from somewhere else to a different place that should be your place of rest. So now you don't have peace at home, and you bringing it, and that frustration comes. But I do want to put a pin there too, because we're not giving people the liberty to be lazy. Because the scripture do tell us faith without works is dead. Faith and works.
Come on, sir. Thank
necessary. So we want you to operate in faith. It's necessary.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to operate in both. So it ought to be work, but it ought to be balanced. And that's what we started off in Genesis. He showed us work-life balance.
Yes, he
did. Because Jesus could have did, when God created, he could have did everything. But he showed us he took a 7-day span, and each day he said it was good. He didn't have to stop, but he's showing us a pattern on how to maintain in work and
he modeled the expectation.
That's it. And then he took the time to say it was good, even though it wasn't finished. Sometimes we don't take those breaks and we don't celebrate the journey or the process because it's not finished. You ought to just celebrate the process. The fact that it's going in that direction. It might not be complete.
Yeah.
Might not be perfect. It might not even be done yet. And you might got to correct it, but it's still good. Yeah, it's good.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm still in Psalms 23, right? Yeah. We said, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Yeah. He maketh me lie down in green pastures.
That's it.
He leads me beside still waters.
So God is guiding you.
He's guiding us, but he's guiding us to a place. In my mind, I'm picturing such a serene place, such a peaceful, quiet, calm place. He's guiding me away from the busyness. And I think it's very important to note he's saying still waters.
Because it could have been rushing water.
Yeah.
You can't drink that. It's too fast. Swallow you up.
You might not need to get in it, especially if you can't swim. Okay? Them currents get to moving and you're gone. But that's chasing the squirrel. The point is to come away from the busyness of life. Everything that takes a toll on you mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. It's heavy. It's a burden. All of that. It can be a burden and a blessing. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about rest, the work that we do is a burden, right? Yeah. He's guiding us away from it to a still place so that he can do what? What's the last part of scripture? Restore my soul.
Soul need to rest. Yeah, it need to be restored.
Come on,
so much stuff you could take to the point that you depleted, that your soul can't take no more. And you know, because that's when you say, I'm through.
I am done.
Like, by another thing better not happen. I'm talking about.
When we went to the gym the other day,
people be like,
you said. Okay,
yeah, you be in your mind, you be a nut. I'm telling you, I'm fed up. You hear people say that, man. I'm fed. What's wrong?
I'm up to here with it.
They better not say nothing to me today. Now you notice, man, that person be bubbling over. And that'd be the day that the Lord have everybody at peace with you. Person that don't even like you speaking to you and everything. Because he just like, they fed up. Don't even, the person that normally work your nerves is nice that day or they called in. Like, but he'll give you some rest and give you some peace. Because sometimes we don't know the process that. Sometimes, man, hey, you got that.
David paints a beautiful picture of how
he a poet.
God is a caring and attentive shepherd.
Yeah.
Like he don't just say, "Hey, you go rest."
Wow, that's how he sounds.
He don't just do you like that. He leads you, he guides you, and then he restores you. Come on. Yeah. That is a caring. He does it because he cares for you.
Yeah.
And he is attentive to our spiritual, physical, mental needs. He knows that we need it, even if we don't acknowledge that, okay, I need to rest. Okay, well, I want to work while I'm young so I can get all this done. So when I get old, but you're gonna be broke down.
You ain't gonna draw it.
You're gonna have. I was texting your sister this morning. I said, Chad, my hydraulics went out. Because that's what your dad was talking about in his sermon. You're gonna be broke down. Your knees ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Your back is gonna hurt. You're gonna suffer with migraines and all these other things because you're trying to get it all done while you are young. Yeah. But even in your youth, you still need to rest so that in your more mature season, you can enjoy the labors and fruits of your youth.
That's why the scripture said, work while it's day, for night shall surely come. Mm-hmm. So you should be working in your youth. You should have a grind in your youth. But what we're saying is you should understand when it's time to rest as well.
Exactly.
And then part of it, once you work in your purpose, that's why people say stuff like this. The world or you say in the secular sense, they'll say, when you find something you love, you'll never work another day in your life. And it ain't even that you find something you love, when you find why you here.
Purpose,
when you find your purpose. Well, Dr. Martin Luther King, once a man finds something that he's willing to die for, now he's ready to live. And I'm paraphrasing because what's he saying? Once you tap into purpose, like, bro, I can do this with ease. I wake up doing this because this in me to do versus me doing something that's not in me to do. Mm-hmm. Like you just said, you ain't going to help them people move them porta potties out there because that's not in you to do. But what them people are tapping into purpose might be entrepreneurship for them. That's why he's doing it. So purpose will drive you to do what a other person or someone else wouldn't do.
I think you'll see it. Danger.
See what I'm saying? You'll see it totally different.
Absolutely.
And that's why somebody say they can do that. I can't see how you do nothing like that. Uh-huh. But then you could look at it like, man, this purpose for me, it's not even difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I understand walking in purpose, but even with that, we still want to make sure, because a lot of times, most of the times, if not, I don't want to say 100% because some things are for you, but most of the time our purpose is tied to people. Yeah. Because this is a life journey of communion and fellowship. Mm-hmm. And because our purposes are connected and tied to people, even if you're passionate about it, even if it is your purpose, you still get burned out. People will wear you out. People will break you down. So if you don't take care of you, if you don't say that the Sabbath is holy, it is necessary, it is a must for me, it is something, a gift from God that I'm going to honor. If you don't do that for you, people not going to care at all. They will work you until you can't be worked no more.
That's why I say make you lay down. God will do something to protect you. He will protect you in it, you know. So, so you got to be careful on that.
So after he has restored me, David goes on to say, what's it, verse in the passage, he says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I just felt like it was a moment for like some rap or something. Wow. But even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, for most of us, that's a scary place. It comes with the fear. He says, I will fear no evil, because even in there, he had already told us in the previous scripture that he is leading me.
Yep.
So David says, I will fear no evil because you are with me. your rod and your staff, they gonna comfort me.
Yeah.
So even when life's challenges and dangers come, because you know the enemy coming, he is coming to kill, steal, and
Coming
destroy
like a thief in the night.
He's coming for you, and he's coming at you. So David knows that, he's recognizing. So even when it comes, I ain't gonna be scared. I'm not gonna fear, because I know you got me. This right here is him saying, hey, the God I serve
got me.
in his presence. He's protecting me. I know that when life's challenges come, when dangers come, I have hope, I have trust, and I have faith.
Yeah.
That he's gonna work it out.
And what's so
that
good?
I am protected.
So good in that with him protecting you, it's so good because it gives you some clarity to understand that rod and our staff.
Those are his tools, the shepherd's tools.
And what's crazy is it's the same thing. It's just how he used it.
Mm-hmm. The shepherd used it to, hey, come back over here.
The hook.
Come on over here.
The hook puts you back in there. But then
Mary B.O.B, Pete, the little nursery
lost her sheep. They lost her sheep. Yeah, so you can pull them back in line to guide them, but then turn around, flip that stick over. It could be protection because I could strike somebody with it. Meaning he's so skillful as a shepherd. He know when to use it. Instead of using it to strike you with it, he used it to protect you with it. And turns around and strike the person that's causing the pain or whatever, which is why he can guide you through the shadows of death. And the reason why you ain't got to fear no evil, because he's there.
He's right there with me, with his rod and his staff. What does the rod and the staff symbolize? His authority and his care. Because like you said, I can use it as an authoritarian, and I can use it to correct or to defend and to protect. But I'm also using care to guide. Come on now. No. Come on. We're going this way. Let's go down here by these still waters. So that you can rest in this protection and this peace that I'm providing for you.
And so when there's protection there, you could see a person blossom and grow. I mean, I was telling how you say the difference. I was talking about the boys. It's a different when you have that father, that man that raised them, because that's the protection. You can grow. You can learn. It's willing to make mistakes. It's saying that in relationship overall, it's a freedom to be yourself when it's a protection, or you got covering there. You could take a breath of air, and you could take it easy. Like, let me exhale for a minute. I don't have to carry this weight alone. And when you have that particular president, it's easy to rest now. You want me to lay? I can lay here. It's good. I know.
Go lay down.
And look, you've been so good to me. You done put me in green pasture. You took me to still water. So we do have to go.
And he done restored you.
Man, so if I got to go in this dark place now, I could trust you in the bad stuff.
Come on.
And the bad situation that happened in life, because I know you're guiding me. Now, the problem is when you ain't in purpose and you don't know he guiding you, now anxiety, now depression, all that stuff kick in. Because now you're in a bad place he didn't tell you to be in. Now you need help. The shepherd come get me out of this.
Fix it, Jesus.
Yeah. Let me get that staff. Pull me out of this. This ain't where you took. But if he is leading me, he's taking me through it. I can trust the process because the one that's taking me through it.
But you said if he is leading you,
that's the key.
That means you are following him.
Yeah.
And if you're following him,
I'm tapping into purpose.
You tapped into purpose.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't go wrong if you're following him.
Yeah, the creator.
Yeah. It goes further to say, and this is what we shout off of. And I have been guilty of this. He prepares a table, and he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Yay. I mean, it's good. But we shout off of that. And I don't think we ever understood. I didn't fully understand the whole context of what David was saying here.
Walk through it.
So
make it plain for us.
He's showing us that God is a gracious host, number one. When you're hosting somebody, you setting up and you decorating, you're preparing for the people that are coming. And even in the preparation, even in him hosting, he's offering provision, honor, and abundance, even when you are facing adversity.
True.
That's where the enemy part come in. So even when I'm facing adversity, I still have the provision. I still have the abundance, because that's what the green pastures is. It's the abundance. Come on now.
That he got for us.
I have never looked at Psalms 23 like this. I have never broken it down to understand Psalms 23 because I equated it with funerals. This is real talk.
They were taking you out all love.
Baby, once I hear it, I start trying to sing a happy song in my mind or think of something else. I'll start thinking about bills, how I want to get my hair done, what I'm going to do after this, because I was trying to get my mind out of such a sad, gloomy place.
Yeah.
This is why it's so important when you hear scriptures, whether we're reading it to you, talking about it here in BYOB, or you're hearing it in a congregation where you are. It's important to get your Bible for yourself and go and study that thing.
True.
And I done said this before. I ain't telling you to go pick up that book and go to Genesis and start reading from Genesis to Revelation, because I'm not able to do it, honey. I have to go and figure out, what am I in need of right now in this moment? What am I struggling with? What am I wanting to know more about, or whatever? I pick a topic and then I go from there. Because I'm telling you, as soon as you get there and you start reading them Old Testament names and you can't say them, you're going to fall asleep. You're going to be like, dang, I ain't know I'm asleep. I'm telling my truth here.
Yeah. And then it's just a development as well. I think it's a journey and you're learning. And I say this, from being a child to now being an adult to now being a parent. And you can say the same thing. Your experience is different. So your experience with your mother have changed from being a child to adulthood to now you're a parent yourself, which changed your experience with your parent. And I say that to say this, with God, it's the same way. If the word is God, that's what John tells us. In the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word was with God. That's the word he is, because he's letting us know before anything.
Come on, preacher.
So if that's the case, the more I spend time with the word, the more I spend time with him. But as I grow, I'm learning different levels. So no, you're not going to pick up the whole book and go through just Revelation. And some people do and still be lost.
I think but that's that why people make you feel like that's what you got to do to understand.
Once again, that's the church, that's religion. That's what we're trying to break. Because somewhere in there, when you studied Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, you studied Synoptic Gospel, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Johannine Gospel is different because he write different. But when you study those, it gives you a picture of Jesus and showing you different versions of. But somewhere we done took the love and liberation of God and turned it into legalism. And that's what religion did. Religion didn't put you, everybody born into sin, you're on your way to hell so you can come to church. Because if I don't tell everybody they born into sin, you're on your way to hell, you don't have no need for the church. And then the church becomes that system that.
But it scare you into coming?
Yeah, it's necessary. The church is necessary. I'm not doing that to knock the church. But even if you didn't come to the church, you still can come to him. And that's the problem. The church should be a schoolhouse, or should be, like I say, basic training to develop disciples so they can go get more.
Exactly.
But what they didn't did, that's why people don't invite, and that's why people are not discipling people, because they think it's the church's job, and it's not. He told us to go and make the disciples. And that's where the confusion come in, because we have not taken that time to understand that that's my role as a believer. I should be making other believers. That don't have nothing to do with the church.
Yeah.
The church should be the schoolhouse.
That has everything to do with you being a disciple.
Yeah, and the schoolhouse should be the church house, should be preparing me to be able to interpret the word, to help others to see what I see and to experience my experience.
Like
but we took it now. I invite them to church and then pastor them, leaders them. They should take care of that.
That's their job.
And better yet, I'm coming. They'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So it's that learning curve. But yeah, that's good though.
So that scripture goes on to say, so we said, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. This made me think about your sermon you did called The Drip. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows.
Okay, run it over.
What does that mean? What I see is an overflowing cup that represents abundant blessings and the goodness of God.
Okay.
That's what I see. Abundant blessings. Where I just don't have room to receive. The windows and the doors of heaven have been opened on my behalf.
That thing flooded.
And it all stemmed from me lying down in some green pastures.
That's it. It got you.
Resting. But remember I said, when you rest, it wasn't about laying down, go lay down. and closing your eyes and going to sleep. It was about coming away from the busyness and worshiping.
Yeah.
My mind is not clouded because we do this a lot. I'm going to say I do it a lot.
Okay.
You can be in a worship service or in a place where you're supposed to be worshiping and your mind on everything. Oh, well, so-and-so not here today. Oh, I wonder who I'm going to ride with to the next service. Oh, child, I'm hungry. I had chicken last week. I don't eat no chicken. Dang, my life insurance due. Oh, I forgot. I didn't take the ground beef out the refrigerator. Your mind on a million things in a matter of 2 minutes. In a matter of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you're not resting.
Yeah. And I say, busy. Look how the enemy works. Sometimes we get it twisted. We think all the time devil, lust, sexual sins. We big on stuff like this. So the clubs, the strip clubs, the environment, alcohol, the whole 9 yards, devil devices. So we big on that. But what a tool I believe the devil used on believers that's so smooth that we messed up. It's business. Just keep you busy. I ain't gotta, and then it ain't even gotta be, and I say this all the time, that's why you gotta discern and use spiritual discernment to know when it's God or just something good. Go feed the homeless, go do it. You'll be busy. It's always work to do. It said
busyness keeps you distracted.
And they'll keep you distracted from your purpose. And I pulled this from Nehemiah. Nehemiah is on the wall doing what God told him to do. Not only was his enemies coming at him, but friends too. Like, nah, come down. There's stuff we need to do down here. And
he was focused.
And this was crazy is what they saying is true. This is good work. If you come down here, it's some other stuff that we got to do. And it was good. It wasn't negative. But this is my purpose, though. And you could spend your whole life, and we was talking about this when I was telling you about some other people, our brothers, and I've just mentioned some different stuff. You would get it your whole life working, making somebody else's purpose and playing, and then you'll look up at a blow past. I remember telling my mom about this. You'll blow past 20, 30 years. Like, what were you doing? I just
working busy.
I was trying to get stuff done, and then get offended because you'll find the individual, or you'll think, I didn't know they were doing that just fine because you got caught up into their purpose. And sometimes it's hard, especially when somebody got an amazing gift, or they so major and big. And sometimes in marriage is like that, because sometimes that person might have a dominant gift or something that's so flamboyant to just override. And I don't even know how they got a divorce. It's because that person just felt like they succumbed to who you are.
Yeah.
And that's why it's good to make sure you building your partner up. And we talked about it all the time, because you say people wanted you to be me and stuff like that. And sometimes it'll be hard because that person just withdraw and just become that. And then you'll never unpack who you are. That's why Clark told you, I didn't know you was saved, huh? Because the mindset
I was saved.
This was crazy. But the thing is, because a person light can be, and not to my own horn, sometimes a person can have such a bright light.
Your light's so bright.
You don't see the other person that can be like, but the truth of the matter is, that person's light is bright because of that connection. That's where you get your charge and your peace and the whole 9 yards. But I always push you and say different stuff, but on purpose. But I can see that in life, that enemy can trick you. Just keep them busy. Man, 5, 6 years roll by. Look up, 10 years and roll by. Kids grown, kids out there. You'll look around and then, and then your kids like, I don't like you. I don't do. And then what happened? Like, because you were so busy
that you would never, when you busy, you can't be intentional.
That's it. They can't stay in the church. Then you mean to tell me God wanted you so active and busy to the people that you should have been your first ministry to hate you and the ministry. And that's God? Nah, that's crazy. That stats say that preacher kids are the worst because they feel like they sacrificed. Why? Because back to our thing, I chase a squirrel. Then we back to the tree.
Come on.
Because the most leaders didn't learn how to rest. They didn't know how to take the Sabbath and keep it holy by having that time with the family. I ain't saying either, because we ain't had time with family where you praying and open the doors and we moaning and fast. No, let's play Monopoly. Just time with the family. Let's eat pizza. Let's go to the movie. Why my time with you gotta be
your work?
Show me him. That's why I've been telling people. Show people Jesus, and I pray with my boys. There's a lot of stuff I didn't emphasize, stuff that I saw that I was growing up. I was like, let me show you. Because we were talking about this one before too, and now I'm gone. I was thinking about the people we grew up with. I'm like, bro, we was in church every day. I was like, man, I'm still preaching and just started to go down the list how many people that they don't want nothing to do with it. Like you don't even, because our whole life was consumed. You couldn't play sports, you couldn't go here, you couldn't participate in this. And I'm like, what was the point in wearing skirts at school and not going to the dance? Like it's a lot of you know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. Now that we older, nobody want to. I get
it. I do understand.
And then the crazy is nobody want to talk about it. They don't want to unpack it. And me and my mama have a great relationship because she'll be like, well, son, I just was doing the best I could with what the information. And that's cool because I can get a little closure. But I think about the people that can't get closure. Just why you raised me like that? You know what I'm saying? You got me weird at school. I don't really understand.
My arms warm, but my legs cold.
Yeah, just great. We couldn't unbutton our shirt. Just couldn't unbutton our shirt. Everybody go to the school dance. You the only one left in the classroom. Your teacher don't want you in there. You in 6 hours.
Baby, them teachers be wanting all the breaks they can
Why you can't go? My mama said I can't
go to the dance, baby. Go.
Oh yeah, you can't talk on the phone. Like what was all that? You could really warp a child's mind. They don't fully understand what is God.
They never get to enjoy the childhood experience, and they don't understand the religious experience their parents are bringing them up in. So now I got a bad taste. It's like me not understanding the song. Yeah. It's a little difference of a situation, but I have a negative connotation to it, and I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to deal with it because I don't understand it. It was never taught to me or explained to me, so I withdraw from it.
Yeah, that's why I say don't judge the father on miseducated kids. Because sometimes we judge him based off something his kid did. No, it ain't him. Sometimes they have a misunderstanding of who their father was, so their interpretation of it was wrong. Jesus ain't nothing about him legal. If you start to study everything about him, he always broke rules. He should have been on the boat, but he walking on water. I give you the practical and the spirit. He always breaking rules. You see what I'm saying? Sabbath, keep it holy. He was supposed to be working. He laying hands on people, telling lady in the temple to stand up. Yeah, the people finna stone you. Everywhere he go, he breaking rules. He saying with the woman at the well, that's inappropriate. Then you saying with a woman that we know, a homemonger back in our day, imagine that's on social media. Somebody would took a picture of Jesus. That thing would have went viral. Yeah, he go to Zacchaeus' house. Zacchaeus is a thief. You go sit at the house with him. We wouldn't do that today. Somebody embezzling, stealing stuff, and then you go eat with him. Come on, Jesus.
We done.
You supposed to condemn him, and you supposed to send him to hell, fire and brimstone. That's what we want. But that's that illegalism, and that's why I said somewhere the Bible and religion then spread to where we don't understand. His whole thing was about love and liberation. Not that you should continue in sin. Come here, Paul.
Yes.
That grace shall abound. But that you understand that there is grace for me to live this life and to be on this journey. We sat at a table with some person was using profanity. And I was just thinking, me back in the day at 15, I would have corrected, don't cuss like that around me. I would have corrected right there because you got to respect the Jesus in me. You're not going to use profanity. But just to hear that person share their heart with us, to be honest, I was like just refreshed, like, and I can literally hear God say, "This is what I call you to do."
Oh,
this is you
in
it.
Blessing.
Yeah, you in that field of favor now. This is green pasture. This person have not been brainwashed by the church. Tell us they never experienced church, never went to it. And I'm like, man, I get a chance to give them the first experience of what it's like to be around a real Christian believer. I show them that first. Awesome. They ain't polluted about none of the stuff that I went through and experienced and seen others. Ain't no church hurt. I like God give us a canvas, just a blank canvas to paint. Yeah.
That's a beautiful
watch them grow. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. We are almost out of time.
Come on,
so we got to finish our scripture. Surely, goodness and mercy.
Let the Lord use you.
Shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Yeah. Said surely goodness and mercy.
For sure, hands down, 100.
It look like two pit bulls chasing you. Yeah, it gonna follow me.
This shows David's complete and utter confidence in God's everlasting love and his eternal relationship with God.
Yeah.
He says, surely, like hands down, without a doubt.
Yeah, I already know.
Your goodness and mercy gonna be with me all the days of my life.
Yeah, the level of confidence.
And because of that, I am going to dwell. I'm hitting the mic. I'm sorry, Katie. I am going to dwell in your house forever because you have proven yourself to me.
Yeah.
You didn't have to, but you did so that I can have this confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You shepherded me, led me, guided me. You took me from the busyness so that I can really get in tune with you, feel you, hear you, see you, understand you better. Then you restored my soul.
Mm-hmm.
You prepared this table for me to show me how gracious and giving you are and how caring you are. You did all of this so that I can rest and just have a moment to worship you, because I have faith and hope and trust that He gonna provide. I mean, God got me, so why stay busy? Let me take a break and go worship Him. I gotta give the man his props. Like, come on. David has painted a beautiful picture in Psalms 23.
Yeah.
If you were hesitant, afraid of like really reading it and diving into it, if you were like me and you thought sad, gloomy memories or thoughts when you heard it because of the experience you had with it, let it go.
Yeah.
And dive into it for yourself. That's what BYOB is about. Mm-hmm. My husband and I get to have our Bible study and we share it with you.
The public.
You are in this with us and we're sharing our perspectives and our thoughts and what God has downloaded in our spirits. All of this, we're sharing it so that we can go and grow together. Mm-hmm. I do hope and pray that this has blessed you. I hope that you look at Psalms 23 in a different way. My hope and prayer is that you look at the Sabbath as a gift from God and that you honor it, because it is a day that you need to come away from the busyness. Go and sit by them still waters. Now, now listen, I'm saying this because I'm being spiritual.
Be spiritual.
But practically, you can go and sit by some still waters because that's very peaceful for some people.
Yeah.
But I would like to put this in there and say, if you can't swim, don't go down there by no water.
Don't get close to it. Look,
don't go down there by that water if you can't swim. Don't jump out there on that water.
I know the Lord calling us to rest. You got lids on, so I know that the spirit of rest.
Now, my sister can take joy, peace, and confidence in knowing God want me to go get my rest. Now, sister.
You gonna go in.
Get your rest, sister. I feel you. I understand it now. That's what Nathan liked to say. So, last week, the challenge was to take an hour to pull away from everything and just do something that brings you peace. It was a part of your rest process. This week.
The homework, huh?
This week.
More homework.
Yes. This week is more homework. But it's a real challenge for some people because some people have addictions real bad.
Okay.
The challenge for this week is to unplug from social media for one day and just focus on being present. That one day, if you plan for it, you can fill that day with something else that's not busy, but that brings you peace and that is focus, right? So you can plan your restful activity. You can go on nature walks.
Yeah, sure.
You can do some, me time, alone time. You can spend some time with your loved ones. You can go and be in prayer. You can
I like playing Monopoly with the kids.
You can do something
unplug. It's a lot of argument.
Intentional with your family.
Unplug,
But take one day, y'all, and unplug from social media. I know that's gonna be hard because some people are like, because I get my recipes off TikTok and I gotta go do this. Just one day. One day. Cook something you already know how to cook.
Take a time out.
Take a time out from TikTok, from Instagram, from YouTube, from social media, all the things. And be present in the moment. If not for yourself, then with your children, with your loved ones, or with God. Whatever it is you need, take that one day and be present.
That's good.
So we are not out of conversation. We are not out of words, but we are out of time. We want to say thank you for experiencing this Bible study with us and going on this journey with us. I love that we can go and grow together. I ask that you would like the video, share the video, guys.
Please do.
Because it's a part of us discipling. It's going to help somebody along their journey.
Yeah.
You can give by way of ICANN 365. For those of you who have been giving, who have been sharing, who have been sowing, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We pray 100-fold return in your life. We thank God for you. We couldn't do this
Increase,
without you.
overflow, and
we
favor.
Love you. We appreciate you. And tune in next week as we
continue make sure you go in
our discussion on rest.
And make sure you follow us on all platforms. BYOB. A lot of people are already tagging
this. This the Baptist church where the lady gets through doing the announcement. And
but you can find us at Bible Study with the Masons. That's what it is. At Bible Study with the Masons. Which one is that? That's on TikTok. That's on YouTube. So you go in because a lot of people got BYOB and we don't want y'all to have no inappropriate
BYOB.
But you can find us. But on those, you can tag that in, put at the Mason Bible Study with the Masons.
Bible Study with the
Masons. And then you can pull us up. Make sure you follow us on those platforms. We love you. Grace and peace. Thank you.